I've known Devrim my whole life. He's like an uncle. Just one that actually cares about me. Zavala's an interesting guy. I think I was a teenager, and I heard him giving a speech about, I want to say the walls? That sounds right. Ikora Ray. A little intimidating, but if anyone is going to solve that whole death thing, I bet it's her. Don't get me started on Cade. That guy, always swinging through the city thinking he's a big shot. Guess what? He's not nearly as funny as he thinks he is. Look at that view. Just imagine if we weren't constantly in fear for our lives. This would be the best trip ever. Devrim, keep your head down. No, I don't think the Fallen are interested in debating you. Back when I first left the city, if you told me I'd be here, in this place, doing this job, I'd have said you were nuts, but I think I'm pretty good at it. And sometimes, you just have to answer the call, I'm trying not to let my edge dull living behind the walls again. But just between you and me, flavored yogurt is amazing. I wouldn't be the me I am today if I hadn't left. I've had people ask me if they should go, and I say, yes, there's a whole wide world out there. I'm chatting again with some friends I had growing up. Sometimes it's a little hard to connect. Like, they'll talk about a birthday they had a few years ago, and I'm like, yeah, I think that was the year I lived in a gully and mostly ate ferrets. I had dinner down in the city last night. Same kitchen I grew up in. It meant more than I thought it would. Going home again. Zavala's less of a stick in the mud than I expected. I think I even saw him smile yesterday. Ikora's kind of what I want to be when I grow up. Smart, scary, melt people with her mind. Everything a little girl dreams of. Cade is exactly like I remember from when I was a kid. Exactly. Like I never left. Ugh.
We're all the same, deep down. We all want the same things. Guardian, ghost, human, exo, awoken, frame, bird. If I had known I was going to be working with this many guardians, I would probably have listened at school more.
Hey, bird, be careful. I swear, if you get sucked into a jet turbine, I'm going to be so mad. Stick close, Lewis. We don't want some trigger-happy guardian looking at you over their sights. No, Cade, I'm not going to say it again. I don't care how much glimmer you put down. I'm not getting on one of your stupid space bikes. I appreciate what you're saying, Tyra. Thank you. Yes, we'll speak again tomorrow. Gotta meet with Banshee, get supplies from the Cryptarch, need tech support from Holiday. It's nice to have friends. Clan cookouts. We could get the Vanguard to sponsor and... No. Are you judging me for selling out and moving back to the city? You are judging me. Pfft. Birds.
Mark and the kids have moved out to the farm. It's probably temporary, but we like the peace and quiet. Was Cade frustrating? At times, but it was part of his charm. A lovable fool, and quite the shot to boot. There was a memorial for Cade down at the farm recently. Soraya organized it. Soraya didn't take Cade's death very well. She won't talk about it, just carries on as before. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't concerned. So Zavala refused to help you with the Barons? Somehow that doesn't surprise me. Cade may be gone, but he will not be forgotten. Just ask anyone on the farm. I can't walk around the farm without hearing Cade's name. He is beloved. Stories about the Dreaming City have made their way to the farm. Is it as beautiful as it sounds? Hawthorne and I are much alike. Well, we would be, after all the years we have known each other. But I believe in the dream of the city. I will return home. I've known Hawthorne since before she picked up her first rifle. Even then I knew. The way her face lit up when I told stories from the wall, I knew she'd be something special. The militia. It is not sanctioned by the Vanguard. Did you know that? They do not feel comfortable with fragile, delicate humanity having a hand in its own protection. Patrolling the walls, you get to know the fallen. They've done their very damnedest to kill us and take the Traveler. And now look at them. They've torn themselves apart trying to survive. It's almost a pity. Some of your fellow Guardians seem very surprised mere mortals can accomplish so much without the light. They should spend more time in the city, I think. I have seen many strange things on the walls over the years. You Guardians account for much of that. Rocket launchers are not toys. Looking back, it makes perfect sense that Hawthorne made friends with a bird. She was a very strange child.
The burning of the fallen banners is fascinating. The degradation of Elixni culture began generations ago, with the event they call the Whirlwind. The dissolution of the houses is just a new chapter for this sad, bedeviled race. The Vanguard held the city together for generation after generation of citizenry. It wasn't always Commander Zavala at the helm, of course. But one way or another, the Vanguard kept us together. What little we know of the Cabal history is written in blood. They have always been conquerors. You know the Scions, yes? The strange, small attendant creatures? They are an entirely different race, but part of the Empire just the same. Who knows how many worlds the Red Legion have visited? The history of this continent is fascinating, Guardian. Have you ever reviewed the archives of the Cryptarchy? Wars, plague, political unrest, but greatness as well. Across the ancient world, greatness could be found: art, culture, music. Even those like myself may never truly reclaim that which we lost in the collapse. This history of the Vex cannot be contained within the pages of a book. How can beings such as these, digital life forms, even be said to have a history? All we know for sure is that they seek nothing less than total victory. But to what end? When I think of what lurks in the dark, the face it wears is that of the Hive. Though we have stood time and again against their princes and kings, the sorcery of that foul race will always be a threat. History tells us so. What are the Taken? In a world without their king, what is their purpose? And without a purpose, what is their future? Or their past? I fear that has yet to be written, Guardian. The awoken people bear up under a history of hope. The brave sacrifice of their queen in defense of our solar system, a day we shall always remember. My fear now turns towards their future. What cost have they paid in this Red War? Would that I could. I would tell you the origin of the Exo. But much like their purpose, history has shadowed that from my sight. Somewhere beyond our understanding lies their truth, and I believe it is a truth that matters to us all. I haven't exchanged a letter with Saladin in some time. Perhaps the holiday's an excuse to write him again. The great machine, a light atop the world, a beacon of hope. But light shines brightly in the darkness. I wonder what happened to Aphrodite, to Shiro. In the wake of the Red War, I have often thought about history's tendency to move in cycles. With every renaissance, there comes a fall. I wonder, are we falling still, or are we climbing toward another golden age? I look forward to the day that Saladin and Aphrodite visit me here. The farm is homier than the Iron Temple ever was. The Exodus Black was carrying Siva. I am sure of it. The only question is, where has it gone? Entire civilizations rose and fell for thousands of years before the Traveler arrived on Earth. Who were the people that lived here? Did they imagine this would be our future? Tell me, did you see any sign of Siva when you traveled to Nessus? Ask that failsafe if you go back. I must know. The Jensum scribes are renowned for their fastidious attention to detail, even among cryptarchs. They're an obnoxious bunch, if you ask me.